Mayor of Dandenong, Lana Formoso, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Lara, for having me. I feel very honoured to be interviewed by my first junior interviewee.
Now, what was the process like to become Mayor of Dandenong?
Yes, so I actually ran for local council elections in 2020 for the first time. There were issues in this municipality that I wasn't really happy with. I was born and raised here in Dandenong from migrant parents from Serbia and have lived in Dandenong my entire life. And I was noticing that there were a lot of issues in this municipality that weren't being addressed. In particular, our parks and reserves, sports facilities, because I'm a local PE teacher. They were things that I wanted to improve. And also, the past 10 years, I've been doing a lot of advocacy for a stud road pedestrian crossing because right near the basketball stadium, Dandenong Basketball Stadium, there's been 13 fatalities in the past 10 years, 2 of which I've personally witnessed. So I began my campaign in 2020 to become elected as a council representative. I was fortunate enough to be elected by the residents of the Noble Park North Ward with 43% primary votes. And then what we do is internally, the 11 councillors choose the mayor for the year. So your mayoralty is just for 1 full year. And this year I was fortunate enough to be the one that was elected by my fellow councillors to be the mayor of the city of Greater Dandenong and the first female Serbian heritage mayor in Greater Dandenong history.
I recall you saying you were a PE teacher.
Yes.
Do your students know you're Mayor of Dandenong?
Some actually do because I do cross paths with them out in the streets. I see them quite often. I'll be going to Dandenong High School for an event this month, so it'll be very funny to be able to call the names of the children and students that are not listening and talking over me because I know the majority of the students at the school, so it'll be very funny.
In your position, how are you involved with the local government? For example, facilities, infrastructure, libraries, schools?
Yeah, great question, Lara. So I don't think people really appreciate and understand what local government entails. So there's 3 tiers of government, as we know, being local, state and federal. So what we do at the local level is offer over 500 services to our residents. So people often think that local government is just about roads, rates and rubbish, when in actual fact we offer a huge amount of everyday services that people don't really understand and appreciate. So the one thing that I'm obviously advocating more for is repairing and upgrading our sports grounds and sports pavilions because a lot of them are very outdated, probably over 40 years old. Some of the bigger projects that we've got coming up is the Dandenong Wellbeing Centre, which will be our new aquatic centre, because the Dandenong Oasis is certainly past its use-by date. We are building a new athletics track in Springvale, Noble Park, and we're also looking at other master plans within the city of Greater Dandenong, all of which I've been heavily advocating for, as well as the Stud Road pedestrian crossing.
Now, you do a lot of charity work with My Room and the Monash Children's Hospital. What's it like working with kids?
Yeah, Lara, I've always enjoyed working with children, hence why I became a teacher. So I really like to set a good example to them through sports and health, positive sports and health outcomes. I was an athlete as a junior. And then once I became a mother, was very, very keen to support my 2 sons in their sporting careers, and not just professionally. And if by chance they do become professional athletes, sure, but it was mainly to keep them fit and healthy, to learn about teamwork, to learn about discipline. And unfortunately, in 2022, my eldest son, Luca, was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which resulted in us spending a lot of time in Monash Children's Hospital, where we continue to get treatment for Luca on a daily basis. He's on chemotherapy every day. and it's a 3-year treatment. We're currently just at the 2-year mark, so we have a little bit longer to go before he's in remission. And so we were very passionate about the work that we saw firsthand that Monash Children's Hospital was doing for a lot of kids here in the southeast in particular. And because we are of a demographic that is low socioeconomic, high needs, and obviously the most multicultural community in all of Australia, we saw that there was a great need to promote what the Children's Hospital, Monash Children's Hospital, was doing for the residents of the southeast. Then, of course, we had learnt about another charity that basically helps children and families dealing with childhood cancer. And they were a great support for us. And I've also seen firsthand what they do for other families as well with children facing cancer. We have 1,000 children that are diagnosed in Australia every day. 1 in 4 don't survive. And it's still the number one killer of our children in Australia. So something that I'm deeply passionate about and something that I will continue to advocate for till my dying breath. We've met some of these kids along the way that haven't survived. So each day that I'm advocating for the hospital and for my room, I think about all of those kids that haven't survived, but I'm also trying to think about all the kids that are going to survive and are going to get through this thanks to hospitals like Monash Children's Hospital, thanks to the doctors, the nurses, and thanks to charities like My Room that are helping families in need during a terrible time in their lives. When your child gets diagnosed with cancer, there is absolutely nothing more horrific than that.
Can you elaborate where you stand with topics such as gender equality, asylum seekers and refugees?
Yes, interestingly enough, I'm extremely passionate about that. Obviously playing sports growing up, it wasn't really accepted in the way that it is today. So I think I've really paved the way for female sport participation, particularly in games like soccer, which I played a lot of. And I think the Matildas and what they're doing is definitely heading in the right direction. We've still got a long way to go in terms of equity in sport, whether that be media coverage, whether that be equal pay, whether that be just normalising both genders and appreciating the skill and the art of the sport that they're involved in. So I'm constantly advocating for that, and obviously being a high school teacher, that PE high school teacher, I'm advocating for that on a day-to-day basis. Being in local government and trying to improve our facilities and opportunities for females is absolutely critical. And in relation to your question regarding refugees and asylum seekers, we actually have the highest amount of refugees settling here in the city of Greater Dandenong. We have over 164 different nationalities. We have over 80 different faiths. We have people that come from over 200 different countries around the world. So we are certainly the most multicultural city in all of Australia. We are part of a Back Your Neighbour mayoral task force, which is really real advocacy for refugees and asylum seekers. So each year we go to Canberra to advocate for the rights for asylum seekers and refugees. It's something that I'm incredibly proud of and something that I'll be taking part in June of this year. So I'll be happy to come back and report to you in terms of which ministers we spoke to and what the outcome of that was.
Now, how can kids like me get involved in helping the environment in Dandenong?
Yeah, good question. So we have a lot of environmental groups here in Dandenong. I think any advocacy that you can do on your own within your school, within the community that you live in is also really critical. But all you need to do is really jump online and have a look at all of the community events that we have. we've got the Tehatchawan Park event happening this Thursday, which I'd love for you to attend. And that's really focused on our environment and how to protect our Dandenong Creek and the surrounding area. And I'm also a huge advocate for Clean Up Australia Day every year. My family and I and some volunteers go and clean all 26 parks and reserves in the Noble Park North Ward, something that we're really proud of that we've done every single year. So we really encourage people to get involved in that. And we've also got a campaign launch at the moment, which is Bin It or Take It Home, which I was a part of, because we are seeing that there is a lot of litter that goes on here in the city of Greater Dandenong, and we spend a lot of ratepayers' money cleaning it up. So it's really important to send that message across for people to be a part of the solution of that. But also in terms of our tree canopy coverage, we have one of the lowest tree canopy coverages here in the city of Greater Dandenong. So we're working really hard with all of our environmental strategies to improve that. And what we also have is a 1 tree per child policy that we've implemented. So every child in the city of Greater Dandenong, by the time they've left primary school, will plant 1 tree in the city of Greater Dandenong. So that's an initiative that you could definitely be support of. And I can direct you in the right way to be able to be a part of that, because you are our next generation, and it's really important that you have an appreciation and understanding of the significance and the importance of looking after our environment, because if we keep going the way that we're going, there won't be much left for our future generations.
I think that's really lovely how everyone just gets together and starts cleaning our environment as well. What advice do you have for kids who are thinking of taking on leadership roles in the future?
Well, good question. You're doing it right now. So you simply coming here and asking the questions that you're asking and being proactive about what goes on in our community is critical. For you to play a part in any capacity, volunteering is always a good way to start. Learning as much as you can about local government and all levels of government, and finding the right mentors that can assist you in that as well. So I was really inspired by a previous mayor, Ros Blades, who was a pinnacle of advocacy here in Greater Dandenong. And obviously being a female, I looked up to her growing up. So I'd like to think that maybe you look up to someone like me and would want to get advice and be inspired by the positive work that I do for our community. So the fact that you're engaging with me right now is a start in the right direction.
Do you meet with the junior mayor of Dandenong? And if you do, who advises who?
Good question. We've just recently, we have a children's advisory group. So we ask the children of students of Greater Dandenong to get together and decide who their junior mayor should be. And we just had the election only a few weeks ago. So Gemma from Keysborough Gardens Primary School was elected as the junior mayor. And interestingly enough, her older sister, Maya, was our junior mayor for 2020. So obviously politics is in the family. I look forward to working with her, and she's very bright, very energetic, and by the looks of it, I think it'll be her directing me in what needs to be done.
Yeah. Now, what is the most fun thing about being mayor? For example, is it fun to dress up in mayor robes and wear the heavy wrapper chain and bling bling?
Oh, that's funny. Look, everything I do with a lot of passion and with good intentions. I want to get the best possible outcome for our community. But I tell you, one of the best things about being mayor is probably our citizenship ceremonies that I get to do each month. So when I get to present residents their Australian citizenship certificate and the smile on their face and the fact that they can now officially call Australia home is really quite rewarding. we, as I mentioned, are the most multicultural city in all of all of Australia. So when I go to a lot of our multicultural events and festivals, like I did last week, which is why I got the henna done for Ramadan, it's just a real delight. So, and on top of that, I feel as though I'm setting a really good example to my two boys who actually watch all of the council meetings. And then the next day we always debrief and talk about what discussions were resolved or unresolved in the council chambers. So I'm really proud of that fact, and that I'm setting such a good example not only to my children but hopefully the future generations of our municipality, and in particular girls and women.
How do you feel that we're a city that is very multicultural?
Well, it's something that is what I'm most proud of, to be completely honest. I've travelled around the world. I've been to over 58 countries and seen firsthand the good parts about certain countries, the bad parts, and I still believe, even though I haven't travelled the entire world as yet, that's something I do hope to achieve some stage, I still believe Australia is the best country to live in. It's the best country to raise your family. And being here in the heart of Dandenong, the most multicultural city, I'm extremely proud of that and embrace that on a daily basis. And I don't know any different because, you know, I've lived here my entire life. So I keep telling everybody, if I had a choice to live anywhere in the world, it'd probably still be Dandenong, although I may retire in Sardinia. So that's still debatable, but I love Dandenong.
Is it harder to be a mayor or a mum?
Oh, gosh, that's a funny question, and I wish I could answer the way that I probably want to answer. Look, being a mum is probably the most, well, not probably, but most certainly the most important job I have in my life, and I did not know how much I would love being a mum until I actually became a mother. So my family comes first, regardless of what I do in a professional manner. But being mayor certainly is a huge responsibility, and it's something I don't take lightheartedly. It's something that I know I need to do with the utmost integrity and to my best ability. I'm constantly trying to grow in personal development so that I'm better at this job. But you only have a very short period of time to get a lot of things done. So I'm extremely busy. I work 7 days a week, day and night. I rarely get to see my children, which is tough. But like I said, my boys are seeing what I do and are extremely proud of me, and they know that I'm making these sacrifices so that we have better outcomes for our entire community.
How do your boys feel that their mum is the mayor?
Yeah, look, it's pretty funny. When I first got elected, my younger son went to school and bragged a lot about it, which I thought was very funny. And they were incredibly proud when I was elected as mayor. I think because we are so proactive in our family and talk about many things in our community that are happening and the things that we're very passionate about, I think they really understood the significance and the importance of that role. And the fact that I'm the first Serbian heritage female mayor in Australia, in Greater Dandenong history, is quite significant, and they're aware of that.
That's lovely. You look so pretty and young. Do some people mistaking you as the mayor's secretary?
No, that hasn't occurred, but interestingly, people do come up to me and say, well, you're extremely young to be a mayor. And I said, oh, well, I didn't think any of us should be ageist. I don't think you're too young or too old to do anything that you're passionate about and something that you really want to achieve in your life. In actual fact, Claire O'Neill, who is a federal minister in Australian Parliament for cybersecurity, and she started off as the youngest female, well, the youngest, but happened to be a female as well, mayor of the city of Greater Dandenong at 20 years of age, if I remember correctly. So she started off in local government, and look at her now in federal Parliament. So it's certainly an achievable role for anybody that sets their mind to whatever they want to do.
Mm. When you retire one day as mayor, how will you look back on your moments and achievements?
Good question, Lara. I'm still trying to navigate through that because, like I said, there's a lot of events, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in a very short period of time. I'd like to think that I did it with a lot of integrity. I think that I've put in a lot of hard work, long hours. I've sacrificed a lot of time with my family to do this role. And I think there's been some significant achievements that I have achieved, not only in my short time as mayor, but also as a councillor. I think my advocacy for Stud Road has been quite well received and still working really hard on that. I think being able to facilitate the Serbian flag raising ceremony for Statehood Day earlier this year was a huge achievement as well, because I understand that was the first time that that's ever happened in Australia. I think all of the upgrades to the parks and reserves that I've been a part of, not only my ward but all of Greater Dandenong, has been quite significant and quite visible. And I think all of the meetings that I've had with state MPs, federal MPs, has really given me an opportunity to advocate for Greater Dandenong to my best capacity.
It's believed the best type of mayor is one who seeks to uplift people and make their quality of life better. And sometimes that requires tough decisions. Lana Formoso, Mayor of Dandenong, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Lara, and I wish you all the very best in your endeavours. And if that's in government or politics of any kind, I hope you can turn to me to give you advice and mentor you. I'd be more than happy and honoured to do that. And I think you have got a very, very bright future ahead of you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.